And then Glinka came like this and say, yeah, classical music, let's begin. Glinka, 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 with beard, with this hair. In our scores, we need to put a little cross. Oh, Glinka was, oh my God, nice melody. Oh, because, you know, this is a patriotic opera, and it is simple like a cartoon. Hello, my friends. And you may say, what a manipulation! We are not friends, we see you for the first time. But I hope that today, after the lecture, we all became friends. My name is Anna. Let me introduce myself. Here is a picture of me. I'm a musicologist. Hello, hello. And I earn money for living doing lectures about music. Some classical music, some modern, electronic music, all the kinds of music. But the classical one is my favorite. But today I do something very unusual for me. Because today I have my first lecture in English at my life. Thank you. Thank you very much. Because usually I do lectures in Russian. I'm from Russia. But today and yesterday and some days ago, I kindly asked my Russian subscribers not to come. I said, please, 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 I'm very shy. Don't come. Let this experiment be very clear. You don't know me. I don't know you at all. And that's okay, because all we need to know is something about Mikhail Glinka. And that's all we need. I've chosen the theme of Russian classical music for my first lectures in English to connect my two identities. Like, I speak Russian, I love Russian music, I'm from there, but now I speak English, and that connects in my head. And before we begin, just one more photo of me. Here is me. I'm 6 years old, and that was the year I came to music school. And I read a lot of books, I played a lot of music, and I saw in one book about Russian classical music this phrase. Let me give you this whole phrase. So, Mikhail Glinka is the founder of Russian tradition of classical music. I was like, oh, okay, yes, I read it down, yes, yes. I believed in that like for 10 years, without any reflection. But when I grew older, I began to ask myself questions. For example, does Russia have music before Glinka? Or it was just folk music, you know, Кормилец Божу, and some and that's all. And then Glinka came like this and say, yeah, classical music, let's begin that party. And no, I'm not sure that it was exactly like that. So I asked myself, there has always been folk music in Russia, but when did academic music appear? What did Glinka to be the founder of it? Did he do the first opera or maybe the first symphony? And maybe you will guess that, yeah, opera is variant better. Because we know that the famous opera of Glinka is Ivan Susanin, The Life for the Czar. Maybe it was the first opera in Russian language, I thought. And no, that was not. Let me introduce you some composers before Glinka. There was a life before Glinka, and the first one person that we need is Yevstygniy Fomin. I hope you don't know him. You don't? Of course you don't. I also didn't. He is very, very unfamous, and you will not find in internet operas of him in the theater. They doesn't perform now. But I will show you a piece of his music. So, and there will be a question, why wasn't this considered the first Russian opera? Let's hear it.
Вырос, потом влюбился, что
enough for us. So, if you wouldn't know that the composer is Yevstigny Fomin, what would you think? Who is? Maybe Mozart? Yes, you get Mozart, yeah, something like that. Mozart, Beethoven, maybe Bach, but latest variant of him. No. But you know, there is no any detail that says that this music was written in Russia. No, except the Russian language in it. And the fun moment of this opera is that called Americans. Yeah, it's opera about Americans. And yes, the plot was very romantic. Like two people from Europe came to America and they fell in love with Indians girls, and they understood everything, that colonizing is bad, and they come back to Europe. And they were singing a choir about the freedom. I will show you. We do not need the death of this nation, but we need freedom alone. And because of this phrase, this opera was cancelled by censor. No, they said, please don't, no. In Russia, we always had problems with, you know, the freedom of speaking, and yeah, not very good times. So, also, there was a person who wrote the first Ivan Susanin opera, so Glinka was not first at that moment also. It was Katerino Kavos, immigrant in Russia, and let me also hear a piece of this music. Maybe some Russian details will be inside. Spoiler, no. But very beautiful. I think that's enough. Also something from Mozart, but very beautiful. So, Glinka did something special, and now we will talk what exactly he did. At first, when you will find some portraits of Glinka or some memory statues, you will see him like this, the oldest version of Mikhail Glinka when he was very famous. I will show you. Maybe you will not come to Russia next few years, so that's him. Glinka, 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 with beard, with this hair. But today we will speak about times when he was not that Glinka, but that Glinka. He was just 29 years old when he did his inventions. At first, let me introduce him to you. Mikhail Glinka was the rich guy. He had what we call in Russia поместье. He had a house with people who were working on him, and that's why he was able to travel and write music and not to think about taxes, about money, and something like that. So he tells you, it's good to have an estate and be able to make music and travel. And that's why, when he was about 25 years old, he decided to travel to Italy and Austria. Italy and Austria was the capitals of music of that time. You know, everything happened there. And he came to Italy, documental photo. No. He really liked Italy for the first few days, but after he decided that it's not very good for him. He was a good student. He did lessons of composition, of belcanto, you know. Oh, it was not belcanto. But you imagined this. I can't do it. But after, when he spent there some time, he was writing letters with a bit strange thoughts. Let me also show you. He was like, Italy, not for me. And that's why. It cost me a great deal of labor to imitate the Italian sentimento brillante, as they call the feeling of well-being, which is the consequence of an organism happily settled under the fusion of the benefit southern sun. He was like, oh, happy Italians, they're happy, and that's why they can sing, oh. And you see, I don't. I'm from North, so I can't do it. After, he wrote, we, Northerns, feel differently. Impressions either do not touch us at all, or they sink deep into our souls, causing us to feel either great exhilaration or to shed bitter tears. So it was his things. You see, it is very often mindset of some Russian immigrants. They are always like, oh, democracy, good weather, something strange, we don't understand this. And Glinka was also that type of the guy. And let me think, what was the belcanto? I can't sing it to you, but I can switch on some audio and we will listen what Glinka was educated in Italy. How is that? Let me show you. There will be some pictures and I will be not talking. Enough. Let me try. It will be bad, but I will show you some details. Very long note, and after, when the tense gets much better, much more, you say, oh. You see, it was like a little, very beautiful thing. Like focuses of our voice. A lot of beautiful little details, and we have a name for them. There are leading notes, the most important thing about writing belcanto melodies. Let me show you how. You have a note, which you like. Oh, I like this note. Do you? Okay. And you need to find its neighbors, up and down. Ooh, ooh. Okay. Ooh, ooh. Okay. And after, you need to draw a beautiful line, like up, down, and that's all. Ooh. Whatever you like as long as you want it to be. And as much as you will have this special leading notes, as much it will be belcanto. And Glinka was a lot thinking about it. He was like, oh, belcanto, leading notes. How can I do the same, but in Russian style, you know? And he understood that in folk Russian music, we have a bit different type of belcanto. Let me also show you a moment. When we sing Russian folk songs, for example, I have a word, library. I need to pronounce 2 notes to each syllable sound. Library. Like this. 1 sound, 2 sounds. Or sometimes we need to stop, like library. Yes, in the end you can do this. In academic music we don't have this. In folk music we do, and we don't have any note for this, so in our scores we need to put a little cross. Something like there. He was thinking how to make opera with these details, how to make it, and he was thinking in St. Petersburg when he came back. But once he decided to have a cab, and the man who drove the cab was singing for his fun, and that was what he was singing. Exactly this melody. Again. Now you understand. 2 notes. Cross. Glinka was, oh my God, nice melody and very nice man. And he decided to write an opera about Ivan Susanin. In a few moments, I will tell you who is Ivan Susanin. Maybe you know, but I will tell you anyway. And he decided that this person is pretty like Susanin. So it was a situation like when Joanne Rowling invented Harry Potter. You remember the story that she was in the train and she was looking around to window of next train and saw a little boy in glasses, and she immediately began to write something about Harry Potter because it was her character. So Glinka did pretty the same thing. What was next? So what is the... Oh, one moment. Before this. Ivan Susanin is a mythological person. We don't know if he was in reality, but there is a legend about him. It is heroic legend. So, when Russia in ancient times had very difficult time, when one Tsar was dead, Tsar, you know, like a president, but totalitarian president. You can change Tsar, yeah? It's because he's from the god. He was born as Tsar. And you understand the difficulty of the situation. One Tsar is dead, and there is no other Tsar. And this time before new Tsar was, we call it smutное время, like dark times. And at this time, Russia was in a very bad relationship with Poland, and some Polish officers heard that there is such a situation, and they came to become Tsar. And they came to forest where Ivan Susanin was living, and they asked him, like, please show us the way where you hide a little new Tsar. He was about 8 years old, new Mikhail Romanov. And Ivan Susanin said, okay, I will show you. They were like, nice, let's go. And they went to forest, and they were going and going and going and going and going, and it was a winter, a lot of snow. And Ivan Susanin, I forgot this word. He didn't tell them the truth. His plan was to go to forest for them all to be dead. And that happened. So they didn't get the Tsar, and Ivan Susanin was a hero. Glinka thought that it is perfect plot. He was the scene in his head, how Ivan Susanin is looking to the sun rising, and he understands that when Polish officers will wake up, they will understand anything. And he began to write an opera. And Ivan Susanin in this opera appears only after 25 minutes after beginning with very strange self-introduction. Let me show you this. So, Ivan Susanin, first time, 25 minutes of opera is behind us, and now you see him. Nice. Did you understand what melody was in it? Что гадать о свадьбе? It was the exactly melody what Glinka heard in taxi, in the cab. He was like, Glin, okay. Что гадать о свадьбе? So he invented the method to write down folk melodies and make them a bit more academic. You heard that this man didn't do this. Что гадать о свадьбе? No, it's opera. Just without some folk details, only a carcass of the melody. Что гадать о свадьбе? It is very strange self-introduction because always when you in opera have the main character, oh my God, it's opera Ivan Susanin. He's the mainest of the main characters. And always you need to do this. Main character came and sing about himself. I am Figaro, I am here and there, for example. Or I am that very nice man and have this problem, so, and then the plot begins. And Ivan Susanin didn't see anything about him. He's like, oh, doesn't matter. The only thing is matter that there will be no wedding. He says about wedding of his daughter, because Ivan Susanin has the family. Let's look. Ivan Susanin, peasant and the family man. He has a daughter and a son. The daughter is Antonida. You don't need this detail, it's just in case. And she is in love with Bogdan. And they want to get married because they're a very nice couple and nothing can interrupt it. But Ivan Susanin says, no, Russia has no Tsar. Are you in your mind? Everything bad can happen, so no wedding, please. They are like, oh, okay, we will wait for the better times of the country. Because, you know, this is a patriotic opera, and it is simple like a cartoon for children. You need to understand pretty anything, and everything is very simple. No Tsar, no wedding. Also, Ivan Susanin has a son, Vanya. And interesting detail that Vanya and Ivan in Russia is one name. But Vanya is for a little child, and Ivan is for the time when he will grow older. So he has a son. And interesting about Vanya is that he is not related to Ivan Susanin. Let's listen to his story a little bit. Ivan Susanin will come now. Yeah, it's him. In the end, he said like, yes, it was the old song and we will build another one, new song together. I think you understood everything. It is a metaphor of Vanya's life. He didn't have parents, his mother was killed, and Ivan Susanin, because he is the hero. He, of course, made Vanya his son. Yeah, so nice. The family theme is the most important in this opera. Actually, the first half of opera, nothing happens. They are all very happy from the beginning to the first half of opera. They were like, we love each other so much. It's so nice that we have such a family. And you see, it is really very nice. When I was a child, I was crying all the time. I was like, oh my God, they're happy, so nice. But after something happens. Before we know this, I need some musical detail. I need to tell you about some musical details here. Glinka wanted to be opera more like a folk music, but it will be too simple for him to just take all folk melodies and put them inside. And then he did something more interesting in this song. Let's check how many beats do you have in each line. I will help you. I'm a director. 6, 8, 6, 8. Oh my God. Interesting. Enough for us. Let me show you the pictures. La 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 la. 6. Not very usual, but okay. 6 beats, okay. La 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 la. Wow. 8. Usually in operas of the time, you will not meet this. La 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 la. 6 again. La 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 la. 8. Oh my God. Why did Glinka do this? Because it is a folk detail. In Russian folk music, it's very rare situation when you have a beat, something like this. Very rare. Usually it was work songs with no beat at all. Oi, oi, doi, doi, doi. No beats. So he decided to make this a detail which show us, not tell us, but show a little bit. And I will have a task for you, little and not very difficult. Don't be afraid. Let's hear how Glinka works with rhythm in one interesting chorus in this opera. I will show you the words at first. Spilled out, spilled over, spring water, over the meadows they danced, red maidens, one was sitting, she's not playing, she's grieving, she sheds tears, bitter tears. Later I will tell you why she was crying with these bitter tears. And now please listen to this chorus and try to count beats on one line, okay? It's okay if you will not do it right. I will help you, but please try. Okay. Разыгралися, разулялися, la, I don't remember the words. How many beats was in one line? Please raise your hand if you think there were 4 beats. You are right, no 4. Please raise your hand if you think there were 5 beats. Oh, sorry. I don't know the exactly right question. Okay, please raise your hand if you think that there were 6 and more beats. Nice, nice. It is okay, but the right answer is 5. Sorry. Moment. Разгулялися, разыгралися, там-там-пам-па-пам-па-ба-ба. We slept away. No problem. So 5. 5 is interesting. 5 is very... There was a reason why there is 5 beats. It's very unusual size of... Okay, very unusual 5 beats. No problem. You see, there is special thing about folk words. You see, when I'm in the library, I say, I want a book. And I say, want. But when I'm in in Bushwick, I say, hey, I want a book. Want, wanna. And in Russian language, ancient language, in folk language, we had an extra syllabic sound. You see, they are singing like walking. Разгулялись. Four beats normal, but it's not ancient. Ancient is разгулялися. And he was like, oh, 5 beats, 5 beats. This will show us that this happened in ancient times. And this is what's happening in reality. So, I need to tell you why the woman in this chorus is crying. You see, these girls, very beautiful girls, they come to Antonida, the daughter of Susanin, and actually they come to celebrate because she has a wedding soon, and they are joking about it and singing about it. It is a song for the, what is the name of the lady in white in the wedding? Bride. Thank you so much. It is the chorus about the bride, and they need to be joyful and glad, but they sing, she is crying and grieving. It is a tradition. Wedding was a very grieving moment for a Russian woman for all times, because she is death for her family, and she is born in new family with new surname. This tradition. So during all the wedding, a woman needed to sit and cry very griefly for the good luck. And they are preparing her to cry. And actually she is crying at that moment. And it is a paradox of the plot. They are like, oh, she's crying, she's crying, she's crying. Oh my God, what happened? And she says them that Poles came and took Ivan Susanin from the home. But later about it. Poles. You see, Poles are Poles officers. I will tell Poles. They are very important character of opera. And if you will say, why one character? There is at least 6 of them, maybe 6 characters. I will say, no, just one character. They are all one. Let me show you. I will show you a piece of opera, and you will think, I hope, why do people on stage sing so strangely? Why do they dance? It is an opera, oh my God. So please, let's see and think about it. You see, he is an angel. For some reason. They will begin to sing very soon. Be prepared. Let's stop here. You see, they are singing like one person, like the bunch of bees. Pom, pa, pom, and they all like one person, it's one character. And that way Glinka shows that they are bad. You know, they are not individualistic. They are bad and they are very horrifying. And you see this beautiful detail, I didn't know about it, but my friend who lives in Poland now, he was like, do you know why they are angels? I said, no. And he said, because it is the part of war costume in Poland. Please try to imagine you have a war with some Polish men, and they came to the field with very big wings. I think you will be very scared and you will run away. That's what was the plan. So yeah, that way Glinka and the choreographer shows that they are war men and they are dancing. It is a part of a pop opera, divertissement. When nobody is singing arias, they're all dancing. It is a moment of rest for the listener. You see, like, oh, first part is over. Let's have some rest. Beautiful men are dancing. And they're dancing not anything but pam pa pam, pam pa pam, pam 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 pram pa 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 pram pa 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 pram pa 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 pa. This rhythm, pam pa 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 pa, is the rhythm of polonaise, the war and very nice Polish dance. Pam pa 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 pa. And I need you to remember this melody, please. Tam pa pam, pam pa pam, pam 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 pam. So let's listen first seconds for a very big reason. I will show you anything. The first notes, please remember them. That's all. And Glinka uses polonaise as a leitmotif. It is not only a melody for one scene. It happens sometimes in the opera. Let's hear how the polonaise predicts the arriving of Poles. So, here is Ivan Susanin and Antonida. They are sitting together and speaking about how happy they are in their family. And then something is happening. You will hear what? They are happy. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know what will happen now? Yes, you guessed. You guessed. Help us, the host of this house. We need to find the czar. You see, they are all together, he is alone. Because he is a hero. You see, in Russia we have a special phrase like, one is not a war man, one can't fight in the field. You need somebody to help you. But if you are one in the field, you're a hero. That's a destiny. So, I think you understood everything. When you hear pam, pa pam, pam, pa pam, it is the symbol that the Poles are somewhere around. Maybe it can be a bit of strange, like they're sitting in the forest and some Poles came like and dance polonaise, pom, pa pom, pom, pa pom. No, they don't. It is just a symbol, just a leitmotif of them. Okay, so first, what happened next? Because now we are in the last third part of the opera and something bad will happen very soon. Of course, Ivan Susanin goes with them to the forest because he has a plan. And his daughter, she was like, oh my God, we need some help. And she comes to her beloved man, Bogdan, and say, our father, you need to save him. They go with this man from countryside to save him, but they don't have enough time. And we see the scene which Glinka was supposed to, he had fantasies about the scene. You remember, yeah? Before he had a whole opera. When Ivan Susanin is alone in the forest at the night and he understands that this night will be the last for him. Let's listen the part of this very, very sad aria. Yeah, it is really very sad. And in the end of this piece, sorry, after, let's listen. It is the evening, they're going to sleep.
Ты ж заря, скорее заблести, скорее возвести спасенья весть про царя.
Important moment. Ah, not here, sorry. Here. That's all. I told you that there is an important moment. Once the actor, the singer, he was like singing and after... that was because of the music. Some winds in orchestra did la 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 la. It is the first part of Rising Sun. And after he looked at this and understood that this is the last night, and after strings, which are symbol of more full heart, they do no 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 no, the same melody but in minor. That shows us that Susanin understands everything. Yeah, you see, no folk details here, not at all. Glinka forgot them. No, I'm joking, he didn't. He has another task for this part of opera. He wants you to cry. He wants you to be sad for him. And that's why he writes romance, just romantic song in this tradition of romantical music. For all the people in theater have some tears in their cheeks. And yes, they killed Susanin, and in this exactly moment, Bogdan, the fiancé of Antonida, came with a lot of these men from the countryside. Of course, they didn't have this minute to save him, and the Poles are killed, Susanin is also killed, but the Tsar is not killed. And that is a good final of this opera. And in the final, you will listen to this. I put some pictures. Here is a square. Actually, it's Red Square in Moscow. And Vanya and Antonida, children of Susanin, they are there and they're crying. They're very sad because they've lost their father. Yeah, he's somewhere around, but not in the physical world. And all the people sing something very joyful and very pathetic. Is it right word? Yes, for something like an anthem, national anthem. Let's hear. So they are very happy because new czar is in Russia. Nice. Yeah, I'm sorry. It is my inner joking of our destiny. I mean, our like Russians. And they're very happy about it, but not children of Ivan Susanin. They've lost their father. They cannot be happy. And somebody comes to them and say, "Are you children of this man, Ivan Susanin?" And they understood that anybody in this square knows Susanin, and he is a hero, and he is forever alive in memories of people. And they also became a bit more happier than before of this dialogue. Yeah. And this music is very famous in Russia because in 1991, when Soviet Union stopped to be, sorry, there was a discussion. What will be the next Russian national anthem? And a lot of people say, please, there is a very good anthem. Please take the final of Ivan Susanin. But no, they didn't win this discussion. But it was a very good variant, I think. Very nice final. So, after premiere of the opera, let's talk about Glinka. Yes, he did a very great job. He invented an opera with the patriotic plot and some folk music inside Italian forms. You see, they are all singing chorus, arias, dialogues, and his education in Italy was for the reason. He understood how to make a musical form. But please imagine the empty bottle of wine. Sad picture, I know. So, and imagine that you put into these bottles not wine but beer. That was what Glinka did. Sorry. He took Italian bottles and filled them with Russian folk melodies. What was on premiere? You see, this opera called at first Ivan Susanin and the Life for the Tsar. So I think Tsar would like this. Yes, that happened. That moment Tsar was Nikolai I. He was in premiere, of course. And all the city, all the St. Petersburg knew some motives of this opera because Glinka was an extrovert, really extrovert. 1 year before opera, when he was writing it, he was like, "Oh, hello, friends, I have a piece of opera. Maybe we can play it in your soup of spells tonight." And his friends from intelligence person, very rich guys, they said, "Yes, nice idea. Yeah, let's spend evening that. Okay, yeah, okay." So they were all happy. Nikolai I also was happy. But was one detail. He said, "Oh, everything's perfect. Thank you so much, Mikhail. But it is not very ethical to watch how actually Susanin is killed on the scene. Please hide it, hide like there." And Glinka it is in his memories like, "Yeah, okay, everything else is okay." Tsar was, "Yes, everything else is okay. Pretty realistic opera, thank you." So he was happy. Glinka also was happy. And there was a lot of poets which wrote poetry about this evening. I will show you just one of them. "Sing in delight, Russian chorus, a new novelty has come out. Cheer up, Russia, our Glinka, no longer Glinka, but porcelain." Why porcelain? Oh my God, what is it? It is because of his surname. You see, Glinka sounds a bit funny, yeah, Glinka, Glinka, and it sounds in Russian like something little. For example, I'm Anna. When I was child, I was Anya. But when I was like, did funny things, I was like, Anka, Anka, Butylka. I don't know, sorry, what to do. Okay, you understood me. I think enough examples. So Glinka is a little word for glina. Glina is clay. So his surname is Little Clay. And this poet was like, oh no, he's not little clay, he's porcelain. It is the same situation when Beethoven, no, Bach became famous. You know Johann Sebastian Bach, and the Bach is a little river. And one writer wrote about him like, oh, he's not a little river, he's an ocean. So it is a compliment for Glinka. He became very famous, and very legendary. But before I will tell you the last words, a little summarizing. We are on the final stage. 6 more minutes are mine. Thank you for your attention. So summarizing. What was my innovation? Asks Glinka. And we answer him. Glinka was not the first composer who was working in Russia. A lot of them made a lot of beautiful operas, but no one little detail in these operas told us that this opera was made in Russia. No. They were all Italian operas. Worse, copies of Italian operas. It's much worse. And Glinka invented a method. He was listening to folk songs and adapting them to academic notes, make them a bit more beautiful, you know, a bit more accurate. And also, he was trying to show us the national music accents. For example, you see 6 beats, 8 beats, 5 beats, not 4. It was because in Russian folk music we don't have any strict line of beats, and he was showing us the atmosphere of that. Did I have the right understanding of folk music? You see, please don't think that that folk music was sounded like in Ivan Susanin, like in this opera. Oh, of course, no. There were some. I'm sorry. Let me have this word. Sometimes Russian folk music is a bit unpleasant for your ears when you listen to it, because, for example, I will sing "Aida," you will sing "Aida," and somebody will sing "Aida," and these 3 notes will be the same for folk people. They will say, nice, we are singing all the same note. And you will like, not at all, oh my God, no. It calls heterophony. And this, it sounds a bit funny, it sounds sometimes a bit creepy, for example, in very tragedy cries. My favorite Russian folk cry is like this. Кормилец Божу на. And you really need to do what I did now, because it is a cry, and when you are crying, you do and you show this in your music. Yeah. In academic culture, of course, not everything needs to be clear, everything needs to be very beautiful. So he understood everything, but he romanticizes. He is thinking romantic of it, yeah? He make it for himself, he make it academic. So thank you so much, Mikhail, but you were too romantic for folk music. But Glinka, after this opera, himself became a mythical character, like Ivan Susanin. Everybody was, oh my God, so nice, national opera, we love it. We understand some motifs from folk music. And he was like, you like my opera? I will do another one. And he did the second opera, and after he died, so he has only 2. It was Ruslan and Lyudmila, fairy tale of Pushkin. And it is 3.5 hours long, very long for the people of the time. And it was not successful as Ivan Susanin, but it is another history. But everybody was very happy about Glinka because he did inventions. And let's listen. He became very famous when he was like after this, and some portraits they made of him. But young composers of that time, Please imagine them. You are 17 years old and you are trying to write a symphony. You go to opera, Ivan Susanin, oh my God, I do anything wrong. I need to do like Glinka. And there were some composers who decided that Glinka is the father of their ideas, their father, their God, maybe. Yeah, he died and he didn't say, please everybody do like me. No, he was just a little nice, kind guy. He was very ill and he died, and they understood that they need to continue his work. And that's why he became a mythical character. He didn't say that we need to do this, but they decided it. And the most famous composer who decided it was Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov. And it is the theme of our next meeting next week. So that's why I just have to thank you all and say thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.